Hey guys, what is up? My name is Nixxiom, and today I want to talk about something that probably is never going to happen in World of Warcraft, something that would be quite extraordinary to see in an MMO, but I want to talk about spellcrafting being added as a potential feature in a future expansion. So the first question is, what is spellcrafting? Some of you guys might immediately know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys might not. Well, let me refer you to a little game that maybe you've heard of, maybe you've played, the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oblivion was an absolutely fantastic game, and if you pursued the Mage Guild quest line or whatever, you were given the ability to craft spells. That's right. Craftable spells. Just for a bunch of gold, you could set up a thing like, I'm going to cast a fireball, and it's going to land on the ground, and it's going to be a giant explosion that also freezes people after they're on fire and electrocutes them or something. You could go crazy, and the more powerful the spell was, the more money you had to put into the spell creation system, if that makes sense. So the question is, why would they put spell crafting in World of Warcraft? Well, the first reason why, let's be honest, because it would be cool, you know? And I know that you guys are probably thinking oh man, we can't have a system where a mage casts a fireball and there's a nuclear explosion that electrocutes people with the thunder of Thor or some shit. We can't have that. And maybe you're right. Maybe we got to keep it a little bit smaller scale, and we'll talk about that in a second. But we could also have spells. Keep in mind, it doesn't always have to be damage. It could also be ambient spells. What if you could craft a spell, for example, that when you use it, it lights your character on fire, or it creates an orb of fire that will follow you around and act as a torch? What about a spell that sort of, I don't know, it makes your character look like they're illuminated in starlight or something? I don't know, it could be ambient stuff. Conjure some rain, or, you could go crazy, conjure a rain cloud and have the rain be blood or something instead of water, and it'd be nice and relaxing, good for roleplay. You could do a lot with it. You could really do a lot, especially in an MMO setting. It doesn't always have to be frostbolt, firebolt, lightning, or any of that crap, explosions. Sometimes it could be something a little bit simpler and a little bit smaller. And you guys could probably come up with some really good ideas down in the comment section. Now, of course, you do want those big crazy spells, right? As a Death Knight, how cool would it be to create a spell where you can it's like Army of the Dead times 5. So you just boom, you sacrifice 99% of your health and you raise 60 zombies from the ground or some shit. Imagine something like that. You're probably dude, that's overpowered as shit, Nixxiom. Yeah, it's awesome. But for those of you guys that are scared, some of these spells could be one-time things. You remember those scrolls from classic WoW? You use a scroll, and you're boom, and it's +3 intellect or some shit. Imagine that. But those are the spells that you craft, and you can, some of them could be one-trick ponies. You use your little paper of spellcraft, and it's boom, and then suddenly the 60 zombies, and that's gone. It's gone. You spent a little bit of gold, you got a cool spell. Well, it's neat, and then you get shot by a hunter, and you die instantly, and then you lose all your zombies. But it was cool, right? Or you can just modify current spells. Fuck, that was one of the original ideas back in Wrath of the Lich King with Inscription. It was just spell modifications. Or it could be something simple, you use a blizzard spell and then you make the ground into ice and people are slipping and sliding on it or whatever. And Pyroblast, instead of it just hitting you and doing damage, it knocks you back 2 yards or something. Could be something really simple like that just adds on to existing spells. Or it could be a system where you create entirely new spells entirely. Yes. Think about the potential for professions, for inscription. Think about how a scribe could be someone who can just do this wherever they want. It's just a benefit of being a scribe. Whereas everybody else, they have to go to a table or something. And a scribe, if you're at a certain level, maybe in order to craft that pyroblast that knocks people back 3 yards, maybe you gotta pay like 150 gold for that. But an inscriber, an inscriptionist, whatever, a scribble, you know, they pay like 60 gold. It could be a gold sink. You know, that's kind of what I'm getting at. You know, in Oblivion, the spellcrafting system, it was a gold sink. Like, let's be real. You could do something very similar with World of Warcraft. Instead of just throwing like ludicrous mounts at people and saying, yeah, this costs like 5 million gold, just create a spellcrafting system. And then people will waste their gold on that. Because let me tell you something, if you put a thing in front of me right now and you were like, oh, you know, do you want to just drop like 5 gold? Like, you know, 5 measly gold. It's like a quest reward these days for like the opportunity to summon like, you know, 60 undead or something as your death knight. Oh, fuck yeah, that'd be cool. And why not? It'd be chaotic. It might be a waste of money in some of your guys' eyes, but it just adds so much like flavor to the class. It adds so much flavor to the gameplay. It adds unpredictability. What if you were in Arathi Basin or something and you were fighting a team of like 10 Death Knights and they all did something like that? It'd be crazy. You're literally fighting an army of the dead and all the mages are going like, ah, ah. They're doing blizzards and the warlocks are doing rain of fire and all the zombies are like, and then like, you know, falling down. It'd be like a war. And all the Death Knights are like hiding like behind a tree because all like 1% health or something. I'm just spitballing ideas, okay? Sometimes I just spitball some ideas on my channel. Now look, I know that you're all sitting there and you're like, my God, Nixxiom, that would be fucking crazy. That would be wild. Even those of you that are like, nah, dude, like I don't even want to see that in a game like WoW or in ESO or any game for that matter. I don't even want to see that. That's gonna be fucking crazy. Even you have to admit it'd be pretty wild, like, right? But I know what you're thinking as well. You're thinking, Nixxiom, like Blizzard is notorious for not giving players choice anymore. Like Blizzard is a notorious hand-holding company these days, like just guiding you along a path. Do you honestly think for 1 second that Blizzard is going to implement a system where players just can create pure chaos, pure anarchy, whether it's like summoning thunderstorms inside of inns, like, you know, it's like rain and shit and like giant FPS drops, or summoning armies of the dead, or like a mage being able to blink like 500 yards just one time, like bink, like could you imagine that? Do you really think Blizzard's gonna do that, Nixxiom? No. God damn it, of course not. But damn, one can dream, right? Maybe they could make like a super nerfed version of spellcrafting. I don't know. But either way, it's a cool system, and I'd love to see it in an MMO. Maybe it exists in an MMO somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. So let me know down in the comment section below. It would also be great because then, you know, create a reason to play an inscription profession guy. Yeah. Guys, if you could craft your own spells in World of Warcraft, like whatever you want to do, what would you create? What would you do? Would you summon armies of the dead? Would you summon giant blizzards, typhoons? What sort of roleplay-ish like things would you create? Like I don't know. You can create a floating talking skull who like vomits out mage table food or something. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Be sure to like the video and look at this shirt. Just look at that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a big, beautiful, sensual shirt? Yeah. Hey, you know where you can get that, right? Just gotta click that Nixxiom's Corner Store link, you know? Like, Mission Wallah. Yeah. All right, the video's over. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you all with my next one.